So, I was at the Toronto International Film Festival for the past couple weeks, and I saw some pretty good movies, but I also saw some pretty bad movies, and I'll talk about them. I saw 7 movies in total, 7 movies, and let's go over them. So the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna like rank the movies in like my preferential order. So like, let's go. The worst one that I saw was this movie called Wildlife. This was directed by actor Paul Dano, famous for There Will Be Blood and other works. He's a pretty good actor, but I'd say this movie's not very good at all. I'd say my main problem with this movie is that it never really just convinced me that the story it was trying to tell was like worth telling, you know? Next up is Greta. This is the first movie that I saw at the festival, and it's not a good movie, but it's really fun. This like psycho stalker movie with this like lead performance from Isabelle Huppert, who is a great actress, and she does a great part in this movie. She's like easily the best part, but it's not a good movie. Like the dialogue's like really bad, but once it gets to the second half, like when all this crazy stuff is happening, it's just like really fun to watch. It's like campy, silly, but I wouldn't call it good. Okay, next up we got this movie called Everybody Knows. It's from Spain, and it's by esteemed director Asghar Farhadi. And it's basically about like this family, someone gets kidnapped, and the whole movie's just like them trying to find her and stuff being revealed about them as it goes. It's kind of like melodramatic, but it's like a poor script, but it's really well executed. So I'd say it's kind of weighed down by the story. It's kind of like melodramatic, kind of like, but it's got some great performances. It's well directed, and it's got some nice shots. But I don't think I'd ever rewatch this. So next is Cold War. Cold War premiered at Cannes earlier this year, got rave reviews, and it's pretty great. It's like this black and white love story. It's Polish. It's just like it's really like a vibe movie. Like you watch it, you feel like sucked in. You're like in the world. You're like, ooh, I'm in there with them. You like relate to the characters. It's great. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it or anytime soon. I might do it one day, but it's pretty great. It's got some great lead performances. It's like stunning. It's like great cinematography. Like each shot's like nice, carefully thought out. I loved it. I'd recommend it. Okay, next up is this movie called Widows. It's by director Steve McQueen. His previous movie was 12 Years a Slave, which won Best Picture. This one kind of takes like the brutality and like the 12 Years a Slave and like adds that intensity to like this heist movie, and it's really cool. It's like probably the coolest movie I've seen in a while. Like it's got these like scenes where you're like, this is iconic. Like this scene in 10 years will have so many likes on YouTube. It's just like, it's good. And it's got a great lead performance from Viola Davis. It's got a great supporting performance from Daniel Kaluuya of Get Out fame, and he's really great in this. It's just like this crazy henchman guy. And it's like really well directed. It's got some great action with like practical effects. Like in a lot of modern like action movies, like it's like there's like a lot of CGI, you know, and each like when someone gets shot, you're like, okay. But in this movie, it's like they crank up the sound design. Like everything looks like real. Like every crash of a car has like a weight, you know. You feel it. Like every gunshot, you're like, ooh, whoa, it's cool. It was awesome. I recommend it. Number 2, we got Burning. Second best movie I saw was this Korean movie called Burning, and it's a slow burn, but it's like this slow contemplative movie, really interesting movie, and I don't want to spoil anything about the plot. You should go into this movie just completely blind, because it's the kind of movie that I'd like rewatch a bunch of times, because it's just like so layered. Like you think back, you're like, oh, that was the thing, that's where it lines up. Probably the biggest name attached to it is Steven Yeun of Walking Dead fame, but he's speaking Korean in this one, and he does an amazing job. like his facial expressions, like it's like a very calculated performance. And I bet when I see it again, I'll like notice a bunch of stuff that I didn't catch the first time, and I'll be like, oh my god, you know, it's just like the interactions between the characters, it's just so well written, and it's beautifully shot. Like these shots where it like goes on for like a while and it like shows the landscape or like a guy running, and it's like, oh my god, how did they do that? It's just beautiful, and I would definitely recommend it. Don't look at the single thing about it, just watch it. It's awesome. The best movie I saw at TIFF is Roma. This is one of the best movies of the decade. This is honestly like one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like I'd put this in like my top 10 movies ever. It's really good. I give this a 10 out of 10. It's by director Alfonso Cuarón, Mexican director, and his last 3 movies haven't been in Spanish. They've been studio movies, English movies: Gravity, Children of Men, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Before he made those 3, he made these Spanish movies, and like very intimate, like very story driven, and he's taken that kind of vibe, that like very like intimate, personal vibe, and he's taken the scale of these studio movies and he's mixed them into this perfect concoction of this just, oh my god, this movie is perfect. It's being released on Netflix in December. It's getting Netflix distribution, so please watch it if you can. I would also recommend seeing it in a theater if you can, but if you can't, just watch it on Netflix. Either way, watch this movie. It is so good. Every single shot is like mind blown. It's like, how did he do that? There's like takes that last for like 3 minutes. There's like shots. There's this shot in the middle of the movie that it's like a guy singing, and like the background and the foreground, it's like crazy, like what's happening, and it's like, oh my god. And he uses these motifs through the movie of like water and dogs and planes, like planes flying overhead, and then you see it at the end and you see it at the beginning, and you're like, oh my god, it represents. And there's like characters, the lead performance from this lady, I don't remember her name, but it's the first movie she's ever been in, and she delivers this fantastic performance that captures this cleaning lady. So the movie is like semi-autobiographical, like love letter to Alfonso Cuarón's nanny as a child, and it's just like, and the movie is just so like personal. Alfonso Cuarón, the director, has been talking about making this movie since 2006, and this is like a total passion project for him. He had so much control over it. He directed it, he wrote it, he was the director of photography on it, he edited it, and it's just like, it's just amazing. Like, I was sitting there with like my jaw on the floor the entire runtime. The credits rolled, and I was just like, you have to watch this movie when it comes out. Roma, it's 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10 movie. Best movie of the year, obviously. One of the best movies of the decade. One of the best movies ever made. Watch it. So if you like that video, make sure to subscribe to be notified of the next videos in the future. That is all. Stay closed doors, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.